welcome back to Haunt the Collector with me, Jace. And yeah, I'm going to do a chat today on the secondary market, which I was going to do anyway, but with the recent events, there's been a lot of talk online, a lot of things were brought up and statements made, and yeah, so before we get into that, I just want to get into this. Just bear with me. Now, the D, you won this on my last video, and Andreas Walter, you won this. Neither one of you have messaged me, and I'm now getting fed up. So here's what I'm going to do, everyone. You two guys, or girls, you've got till end of play Saturday to message me your shipping addresses. Now, if you haven't messaged me by end of play Saturday, Sunday, everyone, Sunday I am going to do a video where I am going to give them away on a first come first serve basis. More about that at the end of this video, so watch the end of this video and I'll discuss what's happening with them. But Andreas Walter, the D, if you want your prize, you've just got to message me. You've just got to message me, so crack on. You've got till end of play Saturday, and then that's it. Sunday they're being given away. Right, okay, let's get on topic. So yeah, with the turmoil of the last sort of, well, let's be honest, since the Alien reissue piece came up, there's been a lot of conversation online, a lot of topics on the Facebook groups and everywhere else, and I've been involved in conversations myself, and I felt there was a lot of weight being put on, a lot of mention, a lot of talk about the second-hand market, because there was talk of edition sizes and why the reissue shouldn't happen and all that. And I'm not getting into all that because it's been talked to death. There's so many YouTube videos on it now, and so many topics on the groups and all that. But it got me thinking about the second-hand market. I was going to do a video on the second-hand market anyway, but it's come more now because I got quite sort of not confused. Yeah, confused and baffled by some of the statements that were made. Some, I actually had a conversation with them. And, you know, it was a sensible conversation, and there was no sort of falling out, there was no backfeed, anything like that. It was just, I was just a little bit confused by some collectors' outlook and viewpoint. And I don't know, maybe through talking through it with you lot, some of you can explain it to me, because I kind of need it explaining to me. Now, here's the thing. Now, when all the talk was going on about edition sizes and everything else, there was a lot of talk about the second-hand market and the resale of statues. And obviously you had a lot of people on one side who were very, for want of a better word, elitist. A lot of old school collectors, and then there are other collectors, I suppose you could say, more like myself, who I'm not so worried about edition size. I couldn't tell you the edition size of any single piece I've got, let alone the number piece I've got. I can't even tell what the edition size is. The only one I know is the Escape Off the Road. I know that's 500. That's as little as interest I have in it. But I can appreciate and respect why some collectors do, because they want the edition size, they want the exclusivity. Now, for me, the exclusivity comes with these pieces regardless of that. Because somebody put a comment on, you know, without an edition number, they're going to sell thousands, or rather, no, they're not. I mean, to compare these to $10.99 plastic toys is ludicrous. Who has got the money to spend on these pieces? It's a very, very, very small percentage of people. Even collectors themselves. Not many of them are prepared to spend this kind of... I mean, Jesus, most of you, some of you, constantly complain at the price of statue prices, and so straight away we've got that exclusivity there anyway. And this has always been this was, to me, was the confusing thing. This is what started me thinking about the second-hand market, was the fact whenever new statues come out, people complain about the prices. Oh, look how much money! Oh, look how much! And yet no one complains about the second-hand statue market prices, which, not in all cases, in some cases, is highly elevated from the original price, which I get. I don't need that explaining to me. Exclusivity, rarity, blah, 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 I get it. And I'm certainly not going down the road of, I can understand people who are on tight budgets, people who like to shop for bargains. You know, I get all that. It was the fact that there was comments being made that the second-hand market is more important. Collectors need to be looking after the collecting community and being thoughtful and this is driven by the second-hand market and by the, that we dictate the prices there. We can't dictate something. I don't get any of that. I don't get it. And I said at the time, I totally disagree. And here's the reasons why I disagree with that line of thinking. For starters, the secondary market can't exist without a primary market. It just can't. It just can't. Primary is always number one over secondary. And, I was given a sort of a situation where they were saying, right, you're selling a statue on the second-hand market, blah, 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 and how are you? And I was like, well, where did I get the statue from in the first place? And the person said, well, that's irrelevant. Well, how can it be irrelevant? If I haven't bought them from Prime One or Sideshow or XM or whoever, I've got nothing to sell on. And here's the thing, I obviously sell my pieces into the second-hand market. I don't buy statues from the second-hand market for varying reasons, which I'll get to. So when the statement was being made, or people were sort of saying about the prices of the second-hand market, people, sell pieces on, and you get an increasing price on, so you don't. Now, to me, the second-hand market is completely wild. It's completely free. It's ungoverned, really. So to say that we have control of it, to me, is ludicrous. That's a ludicrous thing to say, because for me, the second-hand market is driven by three main things, and potentially a fourth: availability, desirability, how much you are prepared to pay for whatever said piece. And I suppose a loose fourth one is also reliability, the reliability of the seller, because as we all know, the second-hand market is also swamped with scammers, with people who, scalpers who stick literally whatever profit they deem should be on that piece. It's certainly not a second-hand market value. It's them setting themselves a profit, and that's it. I mean, I've seen on eBay, sellers on eBay with many statues for sale that have been on for months or maybe years, with huge second-hand prices, ridiculous second-hand prices. I mean, I've looked at the Minas Morgul by Weta, and I'm just nowhere near. And this is the thing on the second-hand market. I think people with things like that, with basic scalpers, because these things are brand new in box. You're not buying off a collector. He'd have had it out of the box and on display, or she would have had it out of the box and on display. These brand new in boxes, these are people who've either bought two and they're selling one at a massive profit, or they're basically flippers and scalpers. And I'm not paying. I'm not paying into that market. I will not pay into that market, because another reason that I look at this, another way I look at it as, is the fact that, for example, let's take the Prime 1 third scale Predator pieces. I've got both on pre-order, the Jungle Hunter and the City Hunter. Now, both I've got the DX versions. The Jungle Hunter one is the all singing, all dancing. But then when the City Hunter one came out, I think the equivalent, the DX, not the Ultra one, I didn't go for that. The DX one was about £600 more, I think it was, something like that. And I sort of ummed on it. There is more in the City Hunter one, extras and things like that. And I pre-ordered it, but it was quite a jump in price. Now, people were talking about this jump in price, and a lot of people, and of course, you got to say, well, you're giving all this money to the statue company, and I'm like, yeah, I am. And I see by doing that, I'm investing into the hobby itself as a whole, because that statue company has a set profit margin. And this is the thing, because, and I discussed this with a couple of people, and they did agree with me, they totally agreed with me. These statue companies, all of them, are aware of the second-hand market and how much certain pieces go for. So they've obviously sat there and thought, well, hang on a minute, they whinge like mad at us selling this for, say, $1,000, but that guy's just sold it for $3,000, it's second-hand. So of course they're going to think, do you know what, stick 5% on our profit margin. We'll dip into this grey area that exists between us and obviously second-hand market profit values. So we'll have a little bit of that, I think. We'll stick a few quid on select pieces we know that we'll sell. We'll grab a bit of that. So yeah, I totally agree that on certain pieces, statue companies are increasing their prices, but it's because they're aware of what's going on in the second-hand market. And that, the second-hand, some of these hugely elevated prices are responsible to a certain degree for pushing the primary prices up. So, and I think that to deny that is being a little bit narrow-sighted. You know, going back to what I was saying about the third scale City Hunter Predator piece. So let's say they've got their set profit margin and they've stuck another 600 quid on it. We'll just say, right, now I see that that's actually me reinvesting into statue collecting for everyone. Because that company, unlike a flipper or a scalper or even someone who's being a bit greedy with a statue sale, you know, it's worth they think it's worth a lot more than it actually is, and that money just goes into their arse pocket, never to be seen again. When I'm paying, let's say, over the odds a little bit, I sort of get around that by thinking, well, I'm hoping that profit margin, that slightly increased profit margin, now that's going into that company and they're going to use that money to buy better licenses, employ maybe better artists or better designers to get better concepts, more staff, better tooling, whatever. It's reinvesting, so that helps everyone potentially in the future. I see that second-hand profit as dead money. That's how I see it. So that's why I buy new. I've bought one second-hand statue once and I had issues with it, and I don't want to go down that route again. And I've seen it happen to other people all the time, and it's a headache and it's stress and it's hassle. Now, of course, I am totally aware that there are genuine sellers out there who are really, really good and trustworthy, who sell second-hand statues. People know I am. You guys know I am, because you know I've sat here and said I'm not worried about edition sizes, I'm not doing this to make money. So whenever I sell a piece in the future, people know with me, you can sit and have a chat and a bit of a haggle and we'll agree on the price. I'm not going to stick £2,000 on a statue. Never going to do it. Never going to do it. Even if I'm not going to have my pants pulled down either, so I don't think you're going to get that, because, again, I could be selling it to someone who's going to buy it off me for, I don't know, so I sell a piece for 1,200 quid and then I see them selling it for £2,500. You know what I mean? So I'm aware of that. But again, that's all about, again, free will. The second-hand market is governed by that. You know, anyone who owns a piece, they can put whatever price they want on it. They can ask whatever price they want. Whatever price they feel it's worth or could be worth. Or even just sit there and think, oh, sorry, do you know what? I'm going to give myself an extra £2,000 on top of it. But people also have the free will to choose what they pay. Now, I know there are certain pieces out there who have huge value to them. I've picked one for the thumbnail on this, the Weta Treebeard piece. I've literally seen that sell for €6,000. Phenomenal, mind-blowing. I can't. But the person who bought it was happy to pay that price, and they feel it's worth it. And I suppose, I hate the term grail, but that is classed as one. The XM Ghost Rider, I know, is another one that fetches an enormous price on the second-hand market. But these have got the reputation and that aura about them, so I know that does exist. But I see a lot of statues, especially, I mean, even pieces that have just become waitlisted or sold out, going straight on eBay or even on some of the groups, still new in box, and so it's not been displayed, it's not been loved. For, you know, ridiculous amount of money put on them, you know, over £1,000 put on it straight away. I suppose my point of this video is I'm sort of trying to ask the question, I suppose, as to why some people feel as strongly as they do about this whole, I suppose, other side of things with the second. I know, obviously, like I say, I sell into it. I choose to not buy from it. I'll buy smaller pieces for 100 quid, whatever. I'm not worried about that. But I'm not prepared to part with money where I feel, not in all cases, in some cases, there's blatant greed applied. Now, statue companies, all of them are accused constantly of being greedy, but people never seem to accuse that of the second-hand sellers. It's the same with statue prices. People are always in uproar about it, but you don't see people in uproar about the second-hand prices. And that's another area I don't get. I don't understand that. I can understand exclusivity on a statue and why people want it. I can understand people buying statues as an investment. I can understand people buying statues solely to make money on them. What I don't understand, which I've seen clearly these last few weeks, people like myself, and I know quite a few of you, who are happy to buy brand new statues at the price that it's set, pay the shipping as well, who are even happy to buy, as horrible a thing as it is, a reissue, sort of get slated for it because it was certainly happening, or it's, you know, it's your fault that the statue prices are going up. But that is never applied to people buying on the second hand. And the only reason I can see that is the people that were doing a lot of the complaining who aren't complaining at that is because they sell on the second-hand market and they love the exclusivity because they love the big profits that they can make, which goes to fund their hobby. And that's the thing. It's freedom of choice. I have no problem with either side of the fence. I choose to not shop on one for the reasons I've given. I choose to shop on the other for the reasons I've given. And I can respect both sides. I think I had about 50 points I wanted to bring up in this video, and I've probably only brought up 20, but I hope this has come over so you can see where I am with it, and maybe where my questions are and my confusion lies in one area, and why I choose to put myself in the other area. I hope that's come across. And I'd love to hear from you all. I'd love to hear how you feel about the second, well, the things discussed in this video. I mean, shove it in the comments below. Maybe some of you can point out to me areas that I'm not quite understanding, because some of the points of view that people were coming out with, and I've got to say, I hate to use the word sort of elitist, but some of the old school collectors, and there was a few of you who sort of were all agreeing with one another. I just can't get to where you are. I can't understand that. That's that on the second-hand statue market. I could go on and on about it, but I don't want to. So we'll leave that there. I might do another video depending on what comments I get and feedback off you all. Love to hear it. Right, let's jump back onto what's happening this weekend in regard to these two unclaimed, thus far unclaimed prizes. Okay, so basically we have got the Iron Studios Frodo piece here, which was won by, this was in the second draw, the D. So the D, you need to message me to claim that. And the Star Ace Toys Treebeard, which was won by Andreas Walter, you need to message me. Now you two guys, you've got until end of play this Saturday to message me. If you haven't done so by then, these two pieces are going back up for grabs, everyone. And what I'm going to do is, at 3 PM, that's 3 PM UK time, Sunday, I'm going to, if I've just got one or both left, they are up for grabs. It will be a first come, first served. However, I will be asking 2 questions. And in order to win them, you will have to answer both questions correctly. So the first person to answer both questions correctly wins Treebeard. The second person wins Frodo. Both correctly. Now, obviously it goes without saying, you need to be a subscriber. You also need to have messaged me your answers. The answers will have to be sent via message. So either to my Facebook, Haunting the Collector, Instagram, Haunting the Collector. If you've got my phone number, you can text me. If you've got my private Facebook account, you've got to email, but you've got to message, because all those things record the times that the messages come through, so I can get exactly who was the first person. I'll go through it all again on Sunday. I'll go through it all again on Sunday. What you need to do to try and win them. I will tell all of you now who have sat listening to me for this long, I'll give you a heads up on what the questions will be on. They will be on Lord of the Rings, obviously. But you will need, in order to answer these questions, you are going to need or have access to the extended version of Fellowship of the Ring and the book Lord of the Rings, the unedited, unfarted about with Lord of the Rings, the full bifter one, because I think they did an edited version. That's no use to you. You're going to need those 2 things to hand to answer the questions. So I've given you a heads up. First 2 people to come message me with the correct answers. The first one will win the Treebeard piece. The second one will win the Frodo piece. Assuming the D, and I've already forgotten your name, Andreas Walter, presuming they don't message me in the next, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the next 3 days. So you two guys, you've got 3 days, and then those are up for grabs. So that'll be Sunday. I'll post a video. I will upload the video at 3 PM UK time. So you all know now. You can work out in a different zone during where that will be. That video takes about 5-10 minutes to load the video up. That'll be up. Oh, yeah, it's open to all of you. All of you, even if you've won before. If you're a subscriber and we get to Sunday and they haven't been claimed, it's every single one of you, even if you're a previous winner. I need them gone. Enjoyed the video, and if you haven't done so already and you want to stand a chance of getting a prize, you know what you need to do. You need to be a subscriber. So subscribe. Okay guys, that's it from me for one video. I'm going to go and leave you all to your evenings, and I'll catch you all at the weekend. And I hope you have a great week ahead, and I'll speak to you all on the next video. Cheers for watching, really appreciate it. Catch you all soon. Ta-ra a bit.